I've spent my last 30 days sleeping with my mouth taped shut, and it completely changed my sleep quality as well as my overall health for the better. When my girlfriend first saw me taping my mouth during sleep, she was a bit worried, but this was before she knew how bad the seemingly harmless mouth breathing really is, and how much of a difference a small piece of tape can make for your sleep quality, health and attractiveness. If you're like me and spend a considerable amount of time in the health and self-improvement bubble on social media, you might have come across this concept as well. And I've read a lot of stories on how taping your mouth shut while asleep helped so many people that I thought, why not try it myself to see if it was actually true? You might be familiar with the feeling of constantly waking up in the middle of the night with the tremendous desire to drink a whole swimming pool because your mouth is weirdly dry and you then don't feel awake in the morning. Or your partner hates you due to your incredibly loud snoring. This is often caused by breathing through your mouth at night. And taping it shut can help you make the switch towards nose breathing, which is way healthier. You might say, why should it matter how I'm breathing as long as I am breathing? But listen, our mouth is not made for breathing. Our nose, on the other hand, is. And ignoring this is pretty bad for your health. To give you a few disadvantages, it dries out your paranasal sinuses, damages your teeth and promotes their decay, can cause a bad breath, increases snoring, affects your cardiovascular system, worsens your sleep quality as it interrupts your sleep so that you often wake up in the middle of the night, and can even make your face look unattractive. Yes, you heard that right. Breathing through your mouth makes you unattractive. As you breathe through your mouth, your chin starts to move back towards the neck, while the rest of your face goes out, hindering the proper development of your jaw. And also your eyes become droopy because there's less use of the sinuses that sit right below them. Obviously, this isn't the only thing that can influence your looks, but a simple habit of breathing through your nose can make a big difference in your facial structure. What the nose does, it filters the air, humidifies it, warms it to body temperature, and by that increases your body's ability to transport oxygen to your cells. The impact may be subtle, but it influences many aspects one wouldn't ever think of. When breathing through your mouth instead, you inhale the cold, dry and unfiltered air straight into your lungs. And that can cause these bad side effects I just mentioned. Now, you might argue that your nose is always congested, and the same thing counts for me. But the reason for this is that you're not using it enough. And one way to do this is by forcing yourself to breathe through your nose, throughout the day and especially while asleep. The impact won't be instant, but over time you will notice the difference. But what are the risks of it? Well, while breathing through the tape isn't impossible, it is fairly difficult. So in case you suddenly wake up with the urge to breathe, you have to tear down the tape before you're able to take a big inhale. And for some people, this can be a no-go and may even cause fear of death. Although I haven't heard of any incidents, and you can also buy tape that only covers some parts of your mouth. And the second thing to be cautious about is your lips, as the tape can cause some irritations. But a simple tape change can often be the solution for this. So, how does it work? Before going to bed, just put a small piece of tape over your mouth. It doesn't need to cover your whole mouth, a small fraction of it works as well. And you don't need some fancy tape like this. As long as it doesn't hurt or leaves irritations, the type of tape doesn't really matter. Obviously, I wouldn't take like parcel tape, that might be a bad idea, but I think you get the point. To get a feeling for having my mouth taped shut, I started by only taping a part of it, so there was still some space for breathing in case my nose was completely congested. I then worked my way up to taping my complete mouth shut towards the end of week 1. Alright, first night of trying to sleep with my mouth shut, and to be honest, I do feel a bit anxious. One of my biggest fears is dying from someone holding my mouth shut or literally taping it shut without me being able to breathe through my nose. So this can be a tough first night. But as the saying goes, face your fears for a life full of joy, or something like that. Anyway, good night everyone. So that's night 1. First impressions. Did it work? Well, my mouth was a bit dry right away, but that probably was because I forgot to drink something before putting the tape on. In addition, falling asleep was a challenge because my nose was quite congested. Only after using nose spray could I finally fall asleep. But that's exactly what we're working against. Also, I did wake up a few times during the night, but I believe it's more related to my regular sleeping pattern than the tape itself. And I did not have a dry mouth in the morning, but instead my lips felt fairly dry. Now, don't be disappointed if you wake up without your tape on. This is completely normal when starting. But once you're waking up in the morning with the same tape that you put on your mouth in the evening, you will feel better rested. I'm now 7 days into the challenge, and for the first few days I continued to need nose spray to decongest my nose. This was a bit weird as my nose was clear for the day and only made problems when I wanted to go to bed, which felt like my body was fighting against me taping my mouth shut. And while my mouth wasn't dry at all, I felt a lack of moisture on my lips when I woke up. But that was fixed pretty quick with a sip of water and everything was fine. Let's see how it will go from here as I'll be taping everything shut for the rest of the challenge. I'll see you with an update after week 2. Alright, I'm now halfway through the challenge and the benefits are slowly starting to show up. Over the past 6 years I really struggled with my nose as I was diagnosed with some sort of nose hypersensitivity. Every time the air conditions, temperature or literally anything around me changes, I randomly get those sneeze attacks. My nose is running, it is so annoying. And with that, my nose is blocked for most of the day, especially at night. But over the past 2 weeks of this experiment, I do feel like this got better and my nose is more clear than before. Could just be my imagination though, so let's see how this will be at the end of the 30 days. Also, I didn't wake up from a dry mouth anymore. I often had those dreams where my mouth was really dry and I couldn't speak properly because of it. I tried and tried to drink something, but it didn't do anything. Obviously, because it was only a dream, but it was really terrifying. And that seems to be gone now, and I'm really happy about that. Alright, the 30 days I set for this experiment are over now. So, what is my conclusion? To answer the main question, did it improve my sleep? And subjectively, I would say yes. I had no dreams where my mouth would be too dry to speak. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night from it, and when waking up in the morning, I noticed that my mouth wasn't as dry as before and I felt better overall. Before this experiment, when sitting in front of my computer, my mouth was usually just hanging down. But now, my default mouth position is likely closed, and that is no problem, as my nose is rarely congested. And when it is, it takes less time to clear than before. But would I recommend this to you? If you're a mouth breather just like me and are struggling with a dry mouth, snoring or waking up in the middle of the night to drink water, I would definitely recommend giving it a try. I think enough people on the internet consider it legit for you to at least try it out. Now, will I continue taping my mouth shut for sleep? I'm filming this conclusion now about 2 weeks after the initial 30-day experiment, and I did continue to do this. It basically became a part of my routine at this point. I brush my teeth, make myself some tea, read a book and then tape my mouth shut once I'm ready to sleep. If you want to try it yourself, you can find the tapes I used in the description. This is not sponsored, it's just for you to know. And if you want to know if waking up at 5 AM can make you more productive, then go watch this video right here.